Quality versus quantity. Prioritizing depth over breadth. In today's world, metrics dominate. Steps counted, followers counted, tasks completed. However, a paradox arises. The more we accumulate, the less satisfied we often feel. Glancing through multiple articles doesn't provide the same level of insight as deeply engaging with one book. Sending out 20 emails rarely has the impact of a single personalized message. Opting for depth rather than breadth, quality instead of volume, doesn't dismiss ambition. It reorients ambition towards mastery, significance, and enduring success. This discussion explores why focusing on depth beats breadth in work, learning, creativity, and relationships, and provides actionable tips to prioritize quality without succumbing to perfectionism. 1. Why the more is better bias persists. In modern society, visibility on social media is often rewarded by frequent posting, which tends to lead to shallow engagement and content fatigue. The fear of missing out, FOMO, drives people to accumulate numerous courses, podcasts, and events, which results in distracted attention and incomplete learning. Vanity metrics, such as the number of tasks completed or emails replied to, create a false sense of productivity, often with little strategic value. Additionally, the legacy of an industrial mindset, which focused on output per hour, glorifies quantity even when creativity and judgment are more important. Recognizing these pressures allows you to consciously challenge them, rather than letting them control your priorities. 2. The case for depth compounding expertise. By focusing on one area for a long enough time to understand its principles, not just facts, you build a network of knowledge. Each new insight builds on the last, leading to accelerated learning and innovation. Signal strength. High-quality work tends to have a longer-lasting impact and spreads further. For example, one groundbreaking paper can have more of an influence than multiple forgettable blog posts. In saturated markets, depth becomes a distinguishing factor. Cognitive flow. Engaging deeply in a task can lead to a state of flow, which is linked to higher performance, creativity, and intrinsic motivation. These benefits are difficult to achieve when switching between tasks frequently. Relationship trust. A small number of close, nurtured relationships can provide more support and opportunities than a large network of acquaintances. 3. Identifying areas to go deep. 3.1. Work projects. Ask yourself which deliverable, if perfected, would have the greatest impact on your objectives. That's where your focus should lie. 3.2. Skills and learning. List the courses or topics you're currently pursuing. Rank them based on your interest and their strategic value. Keep only the top 1 or 2 and set the rest aside for now. 3.3. Creative output. Instead of trying to dominate every platform, choose one medium, like a long-form essay, podcast series, or portfolio piece, and dedicate yourself to refining it thoroughly. 3.4. Relationships. Map out your contacts and identify the mentors, collaborators, or friends who share your values. Invest your time in these relationships first. 4. Frameworks for depth. The Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule, suggests that 80% of results come from 20% of efforts. You should focus more time on high-leverage tasks to maximize results. Deep work, as described by Cal Newport, requires long periods of focused attention to produce rare and valuable output. To make this work, schedule uninterrupted focus blocks and eliminate distractions. Essentialism, a concept by Greg McKeown, advocates for saying no to tasks unless they offer significant value. Slow productivity, another idea from Cal Newport, emphasizes fewer projects with longer timelines, focusing on quality. You can mix and match these frameworks to fit your needs, but the common thread is intentional depth. 5th, practical steps to shift from width to depth. Step 1. Clarify North Star outcomes. Define what quality means to you. Whether it's solving a customer's problem elegantly, earning respect from peers, or creating something lasting, having specific criteria helps prevent endless revisions. Step 2. Capacity assessment. Evaluate your available time and your peak cognitive hours, such as when you feel most mentally clear. Depth requires uninterrupted mental space. Step 3. Ruthless pruning conduct. A task audit. List your weekly commitments and eliminate or delegate low-impact items. Clean up your information diet by unsubscribing from unnecessary newsletters and limiting social media to set times. Step 4. Protected time blocks. Schedule focused work sessions. Turn off your phone and close browser tabs. Guard this time as you would an important meeting. Step 5. Iterative mastery cycle. Create a draft or execute a task. Seek targeted feedback from mentors, user testing, or peer reviews. Refine your work and repeat the process until further revisions yield diminishing returns. Step 6. Showcase and reflect. Publish, share, or present your final product. Reflect on metrics that align with depth. Client impact, insight gained, skills improved, rather than just raw output numbers. 6. Depth in learning. The follow-up formula. Start by previewing the material. Skim chapter headings or lecture outlines to set context. Then, engage deeply by reading slowly, annotating, and solving problems manually. Teach what you've learned by summarizing aloud or writing an article. Teaching exposes gaps in your understanding. Use spaced repetition. Review your notes after a day, a week, and a month. Finally, apply the concepts in real-world projects to solidify your knowledge. Learning deeply may take longer per source, but it reduces the need for constant consumption of new information. 7. Balancing depth with breadth. Depth and breadth are not opposing forces. They complement each other. First, explore widely to discover your interests. Then narrow your focus to develop expertise in one area. Later, you can cross-pollinate insights from various fields. This approach, called the T-shaped model, broad knowledge with deep expertise in one area, allows you to innovate without spreading yourself too thin. 8. Metrics that respect quality. Instead of measuring the number of posts or emails sent, measure metrics that reflect the quality of your work, such as average dwell time, conversion rates, or customer retention. Similarly, in coding, track bug rates and performance improvements rather than just the number of lines written. Focus on the quality of your outcomes rather than vanity metrics. 9. Common pitfalls and remedies. One common pitfall is perfection paralysis. Spending too much time tweaking your work. To avoid this, set a quality threshold and embrace the feedback you get from your first draft. Another issue is overcommitting to too many deep projects. Limit yourself to a few high-priority tasks, both personal and professional. Neglecting recovery can lead to burnout. Ensure you schedule breaks, exercise, and sleep to maintain focus. Lastly, isolation can be detrimental. Without feedback from others, you risk falling into tunnel vision. Set up regular review checkpoints with peers or mentors. 10. Case snapshots. Consider a developer who initially had 15 small GitHub repositories with few stars. After focusing on one open-source project for 6 months, he gained 800 stars and received job offers. Or a language learner who was dabbling in 3 languages. By choosing to focus solely on Spanish and immersing himself daily, he achieved conversational fluency in 9 months. A small business might have been posting sporadically across 5 platforms, but by focusing on 2 where their audience was most active and producing a monthly in-depth case study, they doubled their lead quality and conversion. 11th, depth-first scheduling template. To organize your day for depth, reserve blocks of time for deep work, free from meetings and distractions. Schedule breaks for mental refreshment and prioritize feedback loops with colleagues to ensure you're on track. Protect your time for learning and creative output while reserving the afternoons for collaboration. 12. Cultivating a quality mindset. Before committing to something, ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? Choose your sources carefully and replace mindless scrolling with intentional consumption. Focus on savoring the process, whether it's the texture of ingredients in cooking or the elegance of a logic puzzle. Delay gratification by embracing the discomfort of deep focus, which eventually leads to the satisfaction of mastery. Adopting these attitudes daily shapes your behavior, which in turn shapes your results. Final reflection. In today's noisy world, choosing to go deep is an act of rebellion. By focusing on fewer but more meaningful experiences, projects, and relationships, you amplify your influence and nourish your fulfillment. Start today. Identify one area where you've been skimming and make it your focus for the next quarter. Schedule focused work sessions, set quality goals, and let the non-essentials fade away. Over time, you'll notice a shift. Less hustle, more impact, fewer possessions, richer experiences, shorter to-do lists, greater meaning. Depth is not a luxury. It's a strategy that transforms fleeting busyness into lasting legacy. Thank you for watching. Join us on this journey. Don't forget to subscribe.